Going to be doing Puzzle Rush. If you haven't tried this, I highly recommend that you do. Now, I have my own philosophy as to how you should approach this. Let's just look at the screen here. We can see that for the last hour, the highest score is 39 from Grandmaster Hari Krishna. Okay, and then my all-time score here at the top is 30, and then my highest today has been 27. So, like I said, I have my own philosophy of how you should handle this. And if those that are follow my videos, I talk about taking your time, and yet here's an activity where you're supposed to rush things. So there's basically two philosophies on this. One is to get the highest score you possibly can. Now, if you're Nakamura, you can get up at 55, I think. He's probably the all-time leader, but I couldn't swear to it. If it's not him, it's somebody up there with him. But one thing I've noticed, now we're going to look at some statistics after I do this first puzzle rush. But one thing that's missing from the statistics is your average puzzle solved, and that's only available on your home page. Currently, I have an average of 23.63. Now, one thing I've noticed like one of my students has a high of like 35 or 36, which is higher than mine, yet his over-the-board rating is about 1,700. But one thing about his score is his average is about 12. He only gets about 12 done on the average. So he's capable of getting 35, 36, but his average is quite low. So you get 5 minutes to do this. And if I'm going to do puzzles, I want to do them correctly. Now, let's look at the way this is set up. Almost every time you're going to be dealt a winning position. In a few rare cases, what looks like a hopeless position you can actually save and force a draw when you're hopelessly behind the material, but you've got a few little tricks up your sleeve you can pull. But for the most part, you're handed a winning position. So, when you're playing a real game, if you have a win, you have to discover it on your own. Here we know going in that we're probably going to win, and one out of every few hundred is going to be hold a draw. So I think an important thing about learning is to get that win. So I'm going to recommend that you don't try for a high all time, but you try to maintain an average. So like if say it's your first time, let's just say you take your time, solve each one as correctly as you possibly can. Say you manage to get 12, and then you run out of time. Okay, you've used your 5 minutes. Okay, do it again. Now say next time you get a 14. Okay, now your average is 13. So your goal is to try to improve on that 13 average. And it'll go up and down and fluctuate a lot in the beginning because there's not too many samples of this. So even if you don't understand math, you can understand that the more times you do this, the less your average score is going to change. So as I say, I feel it's important to find the win, to get the most out of the puzzle. And then if you try my approach and try to solve it correctly, and you'll find many times you'll manage to get to whatever number you can get to without striking out. It's horrible if you strike out with 4 minutes on your clock. Okay, it's time you could have used to solve the puzzle. So I'm going to start here in a moment, and then I'll try to explain my thought process as I go. The first ones are generally easy, but I've slipped up even on the first one at least twice. Most often it's find a checkmate. Sometimes it's capture a loose piece, and I'm a little slow on tactics, so sometimes you'll have it solved instantly, and I'll be sitting here still trying to figure it out. But let's go ahead and start. Okay. So looks like there's going to be a back rank mate. White's going to move his knight, and that allows the back rank mate. Okay, now White to play down a queen. We have what do we have here? Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to have a check, and a check with the rook. And I'm not sure what this... Oh no, we just take the queen. Okay, see, I miss easy things. Okay, here's a fork, pick up the rook. Okay, now we should have a back rank mate here. Okay, and here, let's see, we have a pin of the queen. We take the queen, move on to the next one. Okay, now there's going to be a back rank mate, one move. Okay, now we have a mate and 2 on D2. Okay, so if I see them quickly, I will play them quickly, but if I'm stuck, I'll slow down. So here we're going to have a mate. Well, let's see, rook f2, we just take it. Queen takes, and then knight g3 is mate. Okay, on to the next one. Let's see, c7 is protected. Oh, it's remove deflecting. We're going to take this and then pick up the bishop. Okay, so now let's see. If we take the knight, he takes the queen, we take the queen. We'll be up a piece. Okay, so now let's see. Looks like we might be able to pull some kind of a discovery here. Let's see. Rook takes, queen takes, queen takes. Don't see a way to line them up in a fork. We have a sack on b3. That looks to be it. Okay, and then mate. Okay, now let's see. Okay, we're going to win this with a pin. Okay, now we take the queen, then we pick up the rook. Okay, so now looks like it's going to be queen f7 check, king d8. We don't have a check on f8. Oh, we have knight c6 mate. Okay, so I guess I try to solve them. Now here's just a mate and one. I try to solve these. Now we're going to do the check on g1 and win here. Okay, now looks like we're going to sack here. Yeah, but f6 was going to run into trouble. Now we have a fork. We pick up the knight. Okay, now let's see. We only have a queen on the board, but we only have a rook that will come into play next. Here he comes. And it does it. Now let's see. Black to play. Looks like there's problems on f2, so bishop b6. Oh, no, not correct. All right, that's all right. Okay, let's see. Now, going to deflect the king away from protecting the rook. Now black wins the ending. Now let's see. Knight a4. You take the bishop. Then what? I don't see a follow-up. This one's giving me a little trouble. Okay. Let's see. If you take too long, sometimes you just throw a move at it, but I hate to do that. I got under 2 minutes left. Let's see. Need some kind of extra move. I'm looking at b4. I'm not seeing any that going anywhere. Wow, this one's stumping me. But no, knight a4 is it, because queen can't protect the bishop. Okay, so I missed the obvious ones. Okay, it looks like this queen is close to being trapped. So let's see, rook f5. You can take with the bishop, because that doesn't work. We have a nice battery on the f file. Oh no, we'll just take back with the rook. Okay, we have an extra rook there. Now we get the queen. White wins. Okay, now let's see. Okay, I think we're going to give up a queen for two rooks here. Well, it's not really giving anything up. I think that's the best solution. That was the solution. Okay, now we have a check on the diagonal. d4. That looks to be it. And mate next. Okay, now can we deflect this queen away from our queen? Already protecting the bishop. Let's see. How about if we do this check? Okay, now we just take the bishop. Let's see, yeah. Okay, now, wow. White's down a lot of material, but looks like he's forcing a queen. Now the thing is hanging up. Okay, 25 done. I got to try to get one more. Here we're just going to give up the queen and check on c3. Okay, now I have 5 seconds. Let's see. Rook takes because now we take this. Oh, I'm running out of time. Well, let me make the move. Okay, so the idea was rook takes e1 check, and after the rook takes, I take the queen with the pawn, and I'm up a piece. So that would have been the solution there. Let's look at the solution of the one I missed. So I got 26, so I succeeded in raising my average. My short-term goal is to try to get an average of 24. And I was at 23.63 going in. Let's see what the solution here was that I missed. I say I was playing bishop b6. sometimes I miss the obvious. I can just take the bishop, it looks like, and be a piece ahead. No, the bishop goes here. Okay, so what do I do here? Maybe knight takes. I don't know. Let's see what it is. Yeah, knight takes. Now, if he takes with rook, I have bishop f6. If he takes with the queen, I have mate. Yeah, there's mate down here. There's a threat of mate on g2. And there it is, mate. So that's what I missed. Okay, has a pass rate of 55.8. Okay, so let's come back to the stats I was talking about. Now, hourly, I didn't even make their top 50, but I'm not trying to make that top 50. Let's look at personal, for instance. Okay, so here's my full history. Now, I've gotten 30 twice, and these are only recently. See, March 6th and March 7th. I think my third attempt, I hit 27, and it took me a long time to pass that, and I finally passed it with a 29. I've had a few 29s. See, these are all recent. So there is some method to my madness. This method of trying to get the higher average is paying off. See, now all these are recent. There's some more 28s, and another 28, another 28, another 28. And then this might be my first 27. So I have a whole bunch of 27s. So scrolling down roughly halfway, that's about halfway, I'm at 25, so my average is 2363. Let's go down towards lower. My average is 23 something here. It looks like 3 out of 4 scores of mine are in the top 74% of my results. But I have a few clunkers down here. Let's see, here they are. I had a couple 13s one just recently. Sometimes I look at a puzzle and maybe I find a move that wins, but instead of winning a queen, I have a checkmate. It's going to happen. So I had a couple of 13s, a 14, a couple of 15s. I can just do 15s. No, 3 15s. A 16, a couple of 17s, a few 18s. So for the most part, my scores are reasonably high. And as I say, my goal is to try to raise my average. If you can keep raising your average, this indicates improvement is going on. Now, if your true ability at chess is going up, like say you're a 1400, say you were a 1400 player 9 months ago, and now you're a 1600 player, say over the board tournaments. Well, obviously there's improvement going on, and it's not unreasonable to assume that improvement is going to continue to happen, and your high will go up, your average will go up, and then your over the board rating will go up. So but when you've been a master since 1981 like myself, it's hard to improve. But I'm not the best blitz player in the world. I'm nowhere near it. I'm actually below average for my rating. Over at ICC, in their blitz ratings, I haven't had a rating over 2,000. And in their 5-minute pool, I managed it once over 2,000. I couldn't hold it. And I don't even play blitz chess anymore. I just don't enjoy it. My mind operates like, if you understand what I'm talking about, a Commodore 64 or a TRS, which stands for Tandy Radio Shack 40. These were computers from like 42 years ago. Those were the top-of-the-line computers. But they really ran very, very slow. And, that's how my mind works. My mind isn't as fast as someone like Nakamura. I mean, I've watched Nakamura solve these things, and he's playing the solution the instant the pieces appear on the board. I can't even see where one of them is and what move he played. It goes on to the next one. I mean, the guy is true genius at this. He's 1 in a million. Okay, so let's see. There's some more stats here. Let me see. Let me find them. Where'd they go? Oh yeah, full history. Here we go. Okay, bring up the full history. So here's my Puzzle Rush history. here's a case where I only failed one. I had 18 in a row. One time I had a streak of 30. I got a badge for that. But I ran 30 in a row. It'll show up here somewhere. There it is. I tried 30 of them. I missed one. I got the first 30 right, and I missed one. Then I timed out. So, except for, here's a case where I had only got 13, and I had plenty of time on my clock when it was over. I mess up every now and then. It's going to happen to you too. But many times I've gotten them all correct. Maybe only timing out on the last one. One time we'll go back to it in a moment. I didn't have I had one red mark and one gray mark. The red mark for missing, and the gray mark is when you run out of time. Well, one time I solved the last puzzle as time was expiring, and it didn't give me another puzzle, so I had all green. But like I say, for the most part, I'm using up most of my time. And here it says 4:48, and I'm actually timing out on this one. I don't solve the last puzzle in 12 minutes. And it's going to be harder to get past 30, although it can be done. It's going to be harder simply because the puzzles get harder as you go. Let's go back. Let's see if we can bring up that score again. Then we'll try this one more time. So, like I say, my goal is to improve my score of 23.63, and if I score 24 or higher, I will do that. Now, if I keep scoring 24, I'll never break 24. It'll approach it, but it won't break it. So I have to score 25 or higher to break 24. But I believe I'll get there. Okay, so here, yeah, it didn't give me a gray out on the last one. I don't know why, no, I think it did have one there, and it vanished. Okay, so let's try this again. We'll do it one more time here. See what happens. You can laugh at me when I fail on these easy ones. Okay, start. Okay, looks like it'd be a back rank mate. It's going to take my knight. Yep, because these first ones are easy. Now let's see. Queen's under attack. That queen's under attack. He takes. I take his rook. That looks to be it. Yep. Okay, now looks like I'm going to win the rook. Do I have a mate? I always have to be careful there's not a mate in there, because the mate will be better than winning material. Looks like there's a fork of the two knights here. Yep. Okay, now there's a discovery, but is that it? Sort of looks like it. Okay, but I'm using a lot of time getting there. It looks like there's a free queen, unless I'm missing a king. No, I'm not. Okay, now I'm going to win a piece here. Oh, what did I do wrong? I missed E3. See? Well, these things happen. Okay, so I got to keep it honest now. I'm not going to do as well on this time. Okay, there's a check on F3. Goes nowhere. I could take the pawn, but that doesn't seem to. Oh, just take the queen. Duh. Okay, now it looks like a mate. Wait a minute. Nothing's guarding the rook. Check here first. Now we do the mate. Okay, now let's see. The rook's loose, but I have a fork. And I just win the bishop. Okay, now I'm going to win the queen to a discovery. I can afford to miss one more, no more than that. Looks like a quick mate back here. But I could be wrong. Let's see. Now let's see. Check on E8. And then the rook comes down. Yeah, okay. So it looks like there's a free knight here, huh? I guess that's it. Okay, now looks like a knight check followed by queen takes G5. But only gets the piece back, so that may not be it. I'll try it anyway. I don't want to waste time. So maybe that's the defense. You go from a down a piece to even again. Those kind of things happen. Okay, now let's see. G3 is covered by the knight. I have a check on G5. His king can take on F4. I don't see a follow-up. How about if I sack the exchange? So sometimes I do this on instinct. Okay, now check, and then it would have deflected the away from the queen. Okay, now let's see. Bishop here check, followed by a mate down here. Okay, so I'm looking pretty good. 220 left. There's a take on d4 with bishop or the queen. Looks like the bishop would be the right way, but the queen takes, wins the knight. And there it is. Okay, now, come down here and threaten mate. That might be it. Probably is it. And look at that. Gives up his queen. And now I just mate. Okay. Now let's see. F3 opens up a diagonal. It looks like it would be, oh no, just knight g4 check. Win the queen. Okay. Now I'm trying to get to 24. Will I make it? So here it looks like an interference motive. Okay. So the pawn can queen. Now, oh, it's just a attraction. Oh, look at that. Interesting defense. Didn't see that, but pawn takes, bishop takes, check. I'm up a piece, so that's it. Yeah, okay. Now it looks like mate and 2 here. Okay, I'm going to get a few more here. Let's see. Queen takes check, knight checks. Brings the other rook into play. Knight check is it, then followed by bringing the... Oh, it was wrong. Okay. If I miss one more, I'm out. Let's see. Looks like rook takes knight. Yeah, that's it. No, it's not it. Okay. So I struck out with 21, so I went down slightly there. Let's see what I did wrong. Okay, why did I miss this easy prob rated 400? Okay. Anyway, Puzzle Rush is a lot of fun. Let's see. Check. Yeah, oh yeah, I missed c3. See, I just a totally obvious move. I played queen d2 thinking, well, bishop takes. But actually, I'm not going to be a piece ahead because he's getting it back. So there's the solution. So that was an easy one that I missed. These things happen. I could go a little slower, but, you know, then I may only get 18 problems right. So you do have to use some speed, but I try to make sure that I've solved it before I go on. Okay, what did I miss here? Okay, queen. Oh, it's just going to slide the rook over next. Oh, see, now that seems to force mate. It's going to be a mate on h2 or h3. See, king up, and queen to either one of those squares is a mate. Okay, so I missed that one, and then missed this last one. I was having a little trouble with it. I was trying to see what it was, and I saw that at least it got the piece back. Sometimes taking the free piece is the answer. But what did I miss? Pitting the rook. Yeah, it seems pretty decisive. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this is how I take Puzzle Rush. So let's see, I got a 26 and a 21 for an average of 23.5. I went down a fraction of a point. So I can maintain this 23.63. I can maintain that or close to it. I was at 22.2 about 10 days ago, so I am seeing some improvement and encouragement, and do believe I can get an average of 24. I don't know if me doing these puzzles with commentary is slowing me down, but gives you an idea how quick I can go. Which, like I say, I can show you plenty of players who haven't reached a national master title who have scored 34, 40, 40 correct. Again, I'm operating on a TRS-80. They're on a HP 16 DDR RAM. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll do more of these. Have a great day.